Hello everyone, my name is Derry and welcome to my channel. As you can tell, things are different today because I'm talking to you. So I always wanted to make a video with me talking, and because it's better to convey information that way than you just staring at a screen of me just painting. So I went on my DeviantArt and I asked some people to send me some questions that they might have about the current picture that you're seeing on the screen of the tree, or just to ask me any general questions. And our first question comes from my wonderful friend Silver261, and he says, "That is a lovely tree. Thank you, Silver. So what do you do to prepare for painting, or do you just hop onto the computer and go?" Well, Silver, first off, thank you for the question, and thank you for the compliment. And basically, as you can usually tell from how I do things on the screen, I usually start with a sketch. I always have a sketch in mind, whether it be on my sketchbook or on just some paper, any paper, and then I scan that in and in my scanner, and then I put it in Photoshop. And usually on Photoshop I separate the line work. I separate the art, the pencil from the drawing. I separate the pencil from the paper, and you can actually do that on SAI. I didn't know that until recently, and basically that will probably make my life easier. I could go over how to do that on Photoshop if that's something that people are interested in. It's really simple though. Just let me know in the comment section below or anything if that's something that you actually want to see, like a tutorial or something. And then I just paint. I put the colors in, and then I just paint. Usually I don't really have a specific colors in mind. Sometimes I let things fall where they may, but most of the time I have a vision of what it looks like, and then I just try to pull that from out of my vision. Our next question here comes from D.A. Hazard, and thank you, Hazard, for submitting a question. He asks, "I've been wondering, where did you learn to paint so beautifully, and how did you learn it?" Thank you, Hazard. He says, like, do you use tutorials or are you completely self-taught? I would say I'm a bit of both. I did go to school for illustration. I didn't have much success there, but I did go to school for illustration, but most of my life I was self-taught. I did also go to high school, art and design actually it was architecture and design high school. So we learned a lot of measuring and stuff about how to do things with houses and all that, but basically I just mainly learned. I also do look at tutorials. I look at a lot of them to see how other people do things. And I encourage everybody should probably do that. I love looking at speed paints and things like that, and trying out their techniques. Sometimes you'll find out that some people do some crazy stuff to get the desired look that they want. And hey, maybe you might not think that it's right for you, but you might learn something from it. And you might find out that you absolutely can't stand it. And some people's processes are longer than others. Hazard also asks, do you use brushes? As in the tree you recently made, is it a brush or is it just a self-painted? I'm using SAI. And in SAI brushes, their brushes aren't like how in Photoshop, like Photoshop's brushes are like different. Photoshop's brushes sometimes even go by like shape and textures and all that other stuff. Well, SAI does have textures and stuff, but no crazy shapes. And they don't scatter and stuff like how it is in Photoshop. But yeah, I mainly use a lot of textures when I'm doing stuff. I'm only now getting used to using all the textures to my advantage. So, like how you can sometimes see on the tree, even now, that there's like some kind of graininess. I also use Bristol a lot. Like you can see every stroke like has a bit of a bristle as I do it. I really like brushy textures. But they have multiple textures in SAI, and even sometimes you can find some that people have made and use those. My last question is from my lovely friend Quinn. And Quinn asks, what is your inspiration for your current style? Thank you, Quinn. The inspiration for my current style is mainly looking at a lot of MMORPGs. Like the concept art for that stuff. It's something that I really want to work at. Like making making backgrounds and stuff like that. I hope to make a series of these things. I hope to. But sometimes I'm not really good with trying to do a series of paintings that are all similar. Especially for this painting, I looked at a lot of things from Wakfu and Dofus, and those are like MMOs. And they're French owned MMORPGs by the company Ankama. But other than that, I look at a lot of my favorite DeviantArt artists. Like recently, I've been looking at some DeviantArt artists like Zine Chin. I look at a lot of furry artists, obviously, like Veramundus and stuff, and Tracy Butler, who does the Lackadaisy comic, which if you want any example of how to do expressions and stuff on like anything, even though all of her stuff is cats, her work is really awesome to look at. It's I love it. Other than that, my current style is just based mainly around painting things for, like trying to make paintings that look like they would be concept art for games. I'm like studying a lot of that recently. I hope to do more things like this and like shy a bit away from doing things with humans. But also currently I'm looking into things like using inks and stuff. I'm really traditional more than I am. I really like doing things traditional and then transferring it into digital, like using them both hand in hand. Other than that, I believe, and those are all the questions. Thank you so much for submitting the questions, the 3 of you who did. And if anyone has any other questions that they might wonder about, comment below. If you have any suggestions for any future things you want me to talk about having to do with art and stuff like that, also comment below. If you want me to do any specific tutorials or talk about any specific talking points, let me know. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye!